Well, good morning. This is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred. Really glad you could join me today out here in the vegetable garden. Well, it's a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania, Zone 6, and the sun is really shining. And so today I wanted to share some tips and ideas with you on how to plant early frosty peas, and it's an heirloom variety. So thanks for joining me today out here in the vegetable garden. So these early frosty peas are really tasty and delicious, and we just love having peas in our house. Nice fresh peas, you can go out and pick them on the vine. Well, anyhow, you know, behind every pack they always give you some helpful information about planting. And so here on the back it says early frosty is vigorous and a heavy producer of 4-inch double pods which contain 7 to 8 dark green medium-sized peas. The exceptional sweetness of early frosty pea makes an excellent choice for using fresh or freezing. It's easy to pick and wilt resistant. It's a good variety for areas with short growing seasons or cold springs. And a garden tip here is for an extended harvest, plant at 2-week intervals until mid-spring and again in late summer for a fall crop. Training the peas to climb up stakes or a trellis is suggested. And you know, the best time to plant these as soon as the soil can be worked, you know, or anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks before your last frost date. And so why don't we go out in the garden and plant these peas. So follow me along. So I have here a soil temperature condition chart for seed germination. And I ended up getting this from Alabama Cooperative Extension System online. And so it gives you the various soil temperature for vegetable seed germination, and it's something really handy. And what I have here is a meat thermometer. And so you can use that to test your soil temperature during the growing season, when is a good time for planting your various seeds. For instance, here on the list here, peas, the minimum soil temperature is 40 degrees and the optimum range is 40 to 75. And so I just tested this in a couple spots, and the soil temperature is 45 degrees. So we're right at a good temperature for planting these. And so why don't we get started planting these peas. So I have a little hand trowel that I'm going to use, and I'm simply just going to take the corner of this and come out about 6 inches from my 6 to 10 inches from my raised bed edge, and then just eyeball a simple line down here where you can plant these. Little furrow. And then you want to plant these anywhere from, you know, about 1 inch deep and anywhere from 1 to 3 inches apart. These are something really easy to grow. I ended up getting this pack of seeds from an Ace hardware store nearby. It's a Livingston seed company. And so you're simply just going to put them in your hand and just start laying them in the soil. And you can also double row or double plant these in 2 rows if you want, depending on how many peas you like to eat. Or freeze, you can also again freeze these. And I'm planting these in my composted leaf mulch that's amended with topsoil. And you want to make sure you work through your soil. I use my garden fork and work through the soil, make sure it's nice and loose so your root systems can spread far and wide. You know, the wider your root system can spread, the more nutrients they're going to take up you know, resulting in a healthier, stronger plant. And don't forget, you want to have at least 8 hours of sunlight for these peas. And then also to the right side and left of me, I have these are fence T-posts that I drove in alongside the edge of my raised bed here. And so I'm going to attach a 4-foot by 7-foot panel to that. And so I'm simply just going to take the side of my hoe here and just cover these seeds up. Again, something really easy to do. And you want to try to make sure there's no clumps in the soil when you backfill, because you want your seeds to have good contact with the soil. And then I'm just going to take the back of my hoe here and lightly tamp that in. And germination on these are about 10 days. And then right here, I have a row cover. This is a remnant piece of some spun bonded polyester that I have. And I'm going to cover these seeds with this material to keep the birds out of here or the animals off of it. Also, if you get hard, heavy rains, it'll protect them. And so I would encourage you to think about covering your seeds anytime you plant. It just really helps, and it helps keep the soil warm. And I'm using 2 bricks on each end. I have 2 bricks here on the right and then 2 on my left. And then let me get my watering can, and we're going to water these in real nice. And these row covers allow the water to go right through them. And you know, that's another nice thing about having raised beds, is we had a couple heavy rains the last couple days. And you know, with these beds raised above the soil, you know, you don't waterlog these vegetables, you know, and so that's another nice advantage. Also, you know, it warms the soil up in the early spring since they're elevated above the soil, and it gets your seed germination going a little bit quicker. So anyhow, I'm going to get this fence section and attach it to these T-posts. So I have my fence panel here, and I have some jute twine here. Again, this is like a 4-foot by 7-foot section. The holes in here are about 6 inches by 6 inches. You can get these panels from a local box store like Lowe's or Home Depot, or any fence section you could usually have around the house. And then I have some 12-inch pieces of jute twine that I'm going to just simply tie this to the fence T-post. And these fence T-posts were probably 5 feet long that I drove in. Again, you can get these for around $5 a piece at these local stores, and also, you know, then they'll last you, you know, a long time. I'm also going to be planting my sweet potatoes in this bed. This is why I kept the section right along this edge. And so anyhow, this is pretty much what it takes to grow these peas. Something really easy to do. And let me encourage you to think about growing peas in your vegetable garden. It's a beautiful time of the year to be out in the garden here. You can hear the birds singing, and you know, just gardening is just something very rewarding to do. And of course, then you get nice, fresh, organic vegetables right out your back door. And so anyhow, I just want to thank you for joining me today out here in the vegetable garden. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the section below. And you can also visit us at plantsmartliving.com to learn more about gardening and how you can reclaim your health. So anyhow, I hope you have a wonderful day today. So until next time, this is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred.